This is the Marty Ray Project Chats, and I'm Marty Ray, one of the hosts of this podcast. You might know me from a beard video, a prank call, a rap song turned acoustic cover, or hopefully one of my original albums.
And I'm Chris Wallins. You might know me from, where would they know me from again?
You might know Chris from number one hit songs like Don't Blink by Kenny Chesney and Something to Be Proud Of by Montgomery Gentry. Whether you know either one of us or not, I bet you're going to have fun here. Welcome to the project. Download, subscribe, and rate, whether you love it or not. Sound supplied by Rodecaster Pro. The man that has owned more upright basses than uprightbass.com, some even with headlights and some solid gold. He wrote and sang on hits like Poor Me and Just What I Do with a band called Trick Pony. He's also written songs for other artists like Montgomery Gentry and Gary Allen, and he's a good friend of my good friend Chris Wallins, so he's a good friend of mine whether he likes it or not. Ira Dean, welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, thank you. Now we're friends. Whether you
I
like it or not.
Right?
We just became friends.
I know you might not want me as a friend.
Thank you for coming out. That'll do the rest of the show, and we appreciate it.
No problem.
We're gonna do an outro, and then we'll be done.
Awesome. Perfect.
So we start every single episode with a fast five.
Okay.
You should be very good at this. You're a quick thinker.
Okay.
I can tell by that Andy Griffith talk earlier.
I shouldn't have took a Valium before I got here.
We ask 5 fast questions.
Okay.
We get 5 quick answers.
Okay.
Not 5 fast answers, 5 quick ones.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Favorite moment with Chris?
With Chris? Can we really say that on the air?
Anything you want to say.
How are we going to do that one?
You just do it.
I mean-
you go for it. You just rock it, baby.
Do I tell?
Tell
Well,
him.
I mean,
Tell him.
we were, you know.
I mean, is your wife going to get mad? I mean,
No.
okay. So
She's not going to hear this.
I had to.
No, she knows.
I had to judge a Miss Nude America contest thing. In where were we at? Indiana or something?
Yeah.
And I brought
it was
Chris with me
Indiana.
because I was like, I need a babysitter. And it was me and Ron Jeremy were judges, and
Yeah.
some porn star, I can't remember her name, but they paid well, so I ain't gonna pass up on a gig.
How much they pay?
I can't remember, but it was good.
Was it like 6-figure pay or like
No, not 6 figures.
5-figure?
It was good. It was good enough for me to drive out to Indiana and
Bring Chris with you.
bring Chris with me. And Chris just
Yeah.
sat there and shook his head. He goes, I can't believe this. I said, I can't either, but hey, they're paying.
I remember when
Chris didn't know though. You didn't know.
No, well, I mean, when we come there, I didn't really understand
What was
what was
happening?
going on until I actually woke up. He was gone. He went to do interviews and stuff, and I just woke up like, oh man, what are we doing here? And looked, and there wasn't a bathroom. I was like, there's no bathroom. And I looked, and there's this guy sitting out there in this cart. He was, you know, the guy who took us everywhere. And I said, so where's the bathroom? He goes, oh, the public showers are right down here.
Community.
Yeah,
Were they
I'm not
community
going to do
showers?
that. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
community showers. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
like-
not part of the community.
I don't like that. Now,
No.
now, let me ask you a question. How was it walking around naked, y'all two together? Was that
Well, thank
awkward,
you.
or did y'all become closer?
Well, at first it was awkward. No,
It was a little.
It was the judge. Me and Chris were clothed along with all the judges.
Yeah.
But everybody else seemed to just be,
Naked.
carefree and naked. Yeah.
Was it a lot of old people, or were they all sexy?
They weren't all sexy. The ones on
No,
stage were all
yeah.
very good-looking women, and there was the audience. There was like a nudist colony around it, and there was some stuff you just don't want to see. But
I still have nightmares about when the end of the day. We went to go get something. We were actually walking out, and this guy was like, "Hey, we just opened this buffet. We could eat, you know." There was nobody there yet. They hadn't really opened it yet. We went and we got our food and we sit down. And here's a little something that you might not realize. Look at a table and then stand up. The table is
perfect height.
dinker level.
Yeah.
Okay. And so here comes all these people getting, dragging
God
who
for the-
knows what through the mashed potatoes.
For the record, we were the first ones through.
We were the first ones through, and I was just like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah. because I think there was some tracks to them potatoes.
Oh man! And I was like, oh my god, we got to get out of here. We
Yeah.
have to get out of here.
So they're like,
He said tracks in the potatoes.
yeah.
I'll just
A
eat
little
around.
trail.
Yeah.
I just
I
eat
don't
ar-
want them. I don't want that.
No. So there
He's
you
like, take some potatoes. It's like the guy from Scary Movie with the messed up hand.
yeah. That is my strong hand.
Take it.
Oh, I see you've been eyeing some pie.
He comes in, stirs the mashed potatoes with his hand.
Sometimes I just lick it.
Yeah.
So-
You sound just like the guy. Did you play that part?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Golly.
That
I
was
love
it.
your role there.
Thank you. That's my real hand.
Yeah.
I actually had to build the other one up.
So y'all were walking around looking at penises, and then what?
No, you know what's funny
No.
though? So I had a judge, and then after it was done, they were like, "Hey, set up a merch table and maybe play some songs or
Oh,
something."
my God.
I set up my merch table, and we look to our left, and I'm next to the dildo stand. I swear to God. And
And
I
we're
said,
sitting there, and I was like,
I looked at Chris. I said, "Let's tear this stuff down. Let's get out of here."
let's get out of
He's
here.
just dildos flopping around in the wind. I was like, let's get out of here.
Let's get
You
out
know
of here.
what? I don't like this.
But first of all, how much you want for that big purple one?
Oh man!
I've been eyeballing that one with the headlights
I'm
on.
like-
It
I'm
matches
like-
my base.
Oh, that's my signature series.
There has been lots of times being friends with Ira Dean that I've looked around my surrounding and said, how did I get here? There's been a few times it's like, I don't understand how I got here.
Well, with a name like Ira, you know, I'm not gonna. If they offer me money, I'm gonna show up. You know?
Yeah. Why is it? What's that name mean? Has that got a meaning to it or something?
It's Jewish.
Are you a Jewish? Are you
no,
Jewish?
I'm not. But I just got a Jewish name. I'm not Jew, but I'm Jewish.
He's Jewish.
Yeah.
Jewish, yeah.
Yeah. Just pay me. I'll show up like a pizza.
I'm not fat, but I'm fat-ish.
Fattish.
But I'm actually really fat. So it's funny though. It's very peculiar to sell merch at a place where they don't wear merch.
Yeah, but I did sell
yeah.
some.
You did.
Yeah, they didn't
Was you
wear
selling
it.
like underwear, Ira underwear
No,
and
it was
stuff?
T-shirts and hats and CDs and
They
all that.
definitely didn't wear it.
No, they didn't.
Hats and tennis shoes would probably be good. Like I
Yeah.
believe they
Yeah.
wear a hat and a tennis shoe.
Don't want to burn my head.
That was the longest Fast Five I've ever had
that
on the
was
show.
really
Sorry.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was long.
Well, you asked me a question. I was like, dang,
No.
should I say something?
I'm glad. I'm thankful it was. I'm just going to cut half of it out.
Yeah.
No. That's good content.
Here, ask me the question. Nudist colony, go.
That's it.
Yeah, he'll be. This
No,
Cockney.
What was that last word?
Did you just say
Knee.
cockney?
Yeah, what was that?
Cockney.
New cockney.
That's what his brain was doing at the news.
What?
Oh, Cockney.
Where do I look? Where do I look, new cockney? Look
Guys,
down.
like, why you keep looking at my knees? I'm not Cockney. No. He's like, squirrel. All right,
Chipmunk, look
Oh
at
God, that's not a squirrel.
let's get.
Nice squirrel.
Not a squirrel. That's gum. It looks kind of like a squirrel. Then he
need to
just
get
becomes
that-
accustomed to it. He's just going around. How you doing?
He's trying to feed
How you
it.
doing?
Here you go, buddy. Come on.
They're like, go on,
I'm
feed
like,
it.
sir, you need to get that looked at.
The guy goes, I've played this game before.
I want to kick that long-haired guy out of here. He tried to feed my dinker oatmeal.
It was peanut butter.
No, don't do that to peanut butter now.
I like me some peanut butter.
Peanut
Anyway.
butter has made me as healthy as I am today.
Oh man.
This body's brought to you by Jif.
Yeah.
Are you an extra crisp, extra crunchy, or just smooth, or what?
When I was a child, I loved the extra crunchy.
Yeah.
Now it's got to be smooth, and it's
Okay.
actually I don't even eat the hydrogenated ones anymore. I eat the natural ones that you have to mix up.
Yeah.
Or just drink the oil out immediately and then just eat the dry
Yeah.
peanut butter. Have you ever eaten a piece of the dry peanut butter without mixing the oil?
No.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's
I bet.
bad. It's really bad. Yeah.
It's hard to get down. It's not like it tastes bad. It's just you're going like you start breathing powder out.
Start looking like a dog.
Yeah, worse.
Yeah.
We'll get some in here. Ben, go ahead and bring that in here because I want Ira to
I'll
do
drink
the rest
oil.
of the interview.
I'll drink the oil out of it. You take a
Shoot,
spoonful.
it's like a shooter.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do the oil. I'll take a little oil and I put a little peanut butter in there and mix it up in my mouth. You ever do that?
No, nobody else has either. But anyway,
Well, next time I'll mix it up for you in my mouth and let
Just
you eat
spit
it
it
after.
in?
Yeah,
we'll do that.
you'll see
Okay,
it's
yeah.
better that way.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm a bird. Open your mouth up.
You know, like you were trying to do that guy, his squirrel. Favorite bass that you've owned or that you own?
I've got a 1960 jazz bass, first year of the jazz. It's 60 and a half, 61. First year of the Fender Jazz. It's my favorite bass. I always wanted one growing up, and I could never afford one. And then 2003 or 4, I got nominated for a Grammy. We lost, and I have a bad problem of spending money when I'm depressed. So I went and bought one. I went to New York. I was in New York, and I went to this collector shop and saw it, and I was like, I'll take it. So I was proud owner. It's beautiful. I still got. I want them to bury me with it.
You should take up drinking or something.
Oh yeah, I did that too
I'm
for a
joking.
while.
I'm joking.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that's a joke. Hey, but I'm actually shocked that you didn't mention one of the uprights with the headlights and the gold. And
As far as uprights, I've always been partial to the first one, the chrome one with the headlights up top.
and Pour Me.
Yeah,
In that video.
that was the first chroma, first headlight base I kind of manufactured, and
You actually customized that or had somebody.
I bought an old bass that was made of metal. They made them back in the 50s or 40s in Germany, where glue would loosen up in the wintertime. So they started making them out of metal, and they realized they sound like shit, so they quit doing it. But I bought one of those, and I had them polish it out to chrome. And then we were playing the Wild Horse, and I stole 2 lights out of the Wild Horse, the Par 64s. And I went to I was living in this really cruddy apartment on Nice Drive at the time, and I took a jigsaw in my living room, cut holes, put headlights in it, wired it up, and that's the one that started everything off.
So Wild Horse, if you're listening,
They know I
Here he
stole
is.
it. They know I stole
Here he
it.
is.
I told them afterwards.
but you didn't really steal it then.
Yeah,
You just
it-
kind of liberated
It's
it.
not stealing if you go back later and say, "Hey, man, I took those."
It really ain't.
No.
When can I come to your house?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I need to come and look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
bit.
Come on, on with it.
Your favorite vacation spot, whether you've been there or not.
Jamaica.
Have you been there?
Yes.
How many times?
I couldn't tell you.
This turned into an investigation, really.
Johnny Cash had a house in Montego Bay. It was the first house built in Jamaica in 1791, and I would spend Christmases there.
Brag much?
With John and June. So that was like, and then I'd go to the other side of the island in Negril, where the parties happened, and I'd spend Christmas with John and June, and then I'd go over to Negril.
Is that how you got your? Well, we'll get in that in a minute.
Okay.
Song you wish you'd written.
Song I wish I wrote.
Yeah.
Anything Goes When Everything's Gone.
How's that go?
Oh, it's a great. Anything goes, when everything's gone. It's a
Bryce
great
Long
song.
wrote it. It's amazing.
Who sang it? Who made it popular?
Randy Houser.
Randy Houser.
So that's a more recent one because he's not that
It's
old.
a few years ago.
A few years back.
I hadn't heard that. I'm
a
gonna have to look
great
that up. That's the song out of all the songs that's been
That's
written.
the one I always
That's
hum.
current.
That's current. When I'm driving, I always seem to be humming that song. I think it's brilliant.
It is.
You know what
It's
I
a
wish
great-
I'd have written? Happy Birthday. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Because that's sung by everybody, and I'm sure you don't get paid for it, of course. But
You know,
I don't think about it in money terms. Maybe that's
Well, you know,
y'all think
they've
about it,
just
man?
started this last couple of years of singing "Happy Birthday" in restaurants again. They couldn't for years.
really.
Yeah, because they would have to pay royalties. That's the reason when you go to a restaurant. Years ago, when you go to a restaurant, they go "Happy, happy, happy, happy birthday." You know, they would do this crazy thing.
Really?
That's why they did that, because because they're making money while they're singing
Wow.
that song, and that's why you couldn't sing that song for years. But I think it's Warner Brothers that owned that song, and they found out, like, here in the last few years, they found out that it went to public domain
Yeah.
a lot earlier than what they thought.
So
They've been getting money for that for years, and now it's stopped. It's public domain now.
That's
so you
jacked
can sing-
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's jacked up.
As far as old songs I wish I wrote, probably Eleanor Rigby. I think that's a brilliant song too. Beatles. Or Long and Winding Road, or I love
You a Beatles fan?
Yeah, some of their stuff. I'm a huge Beatles fan, period. But
Yeah.
some of that stuff was just brilliant.
I never was a Beatles fan because in Memphis, was born in Memphis, so it was kind of like you either liked Elvis or
Yep.
the Beatles because they were always like battling for the number one spot. So we always loved Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
Still do.
Oh, yeah.
So I always I don't want to say hate, but I always had a little thing against the Beatles because I'm like, how dare you try to be better than Elvis?
Everybody's like that. They're either Elvis or Beatles. I'm
Yeah.
both. I think Elvis was
Oh, yeah.
what an entertainer.
Oh, man.
There'll never be another.
I think he was one of the greatest, man. I did a show and somebody in Ludacris. You ever heard of a man named Ludacris?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He asked me. He said what? He said well no, it's Flo Rida that asked. He said you're from Memphis, so what do you feel like you got big shoes to fill in being from Memphis? And I said, what shoes? He said Elvis. I said I ain't trying to be Elvis. I said I won't ever be on that level. Don't want to be. So then Ludacris said, well, you said you don't want to be on Elvis's level. Where do you want to be? I said just right below him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause it's still a joke, but I wanted to be. I don't want to not be able to go anywhere. He couldn't go anywhere in the world and hide.
A friend of mine got hired by him and said that he got called in. He was working for Tony Bennett, and so Elvis called him to work for him. And he said, Joe Gershio, who was his conductor for many, many years, he said, I already made up my mind I wasn't going to take the job. He says, I got to Elvis's place, and Elvis came out full jumpsuit, belt, rings, the whole bit. He said everybody was outside the gate, and he goes, we were grown ass men. And Elvis said, you know how to ride a bicycle? And he said, sure. And they got on bicycles together. And Joe goes, I haven't ridden a bike since I like 50 years beforehand. And they got on bicycles side by side, Elvis in full garb. And they'd ride down the driveway, and they get to the gate, and everybody go, scream. And then they turn and ride up to the house. He said, we negotiated my whole contract. He goes, but by the time I left there, I had committed to working with Elvis. He talked me into it on a bicycle and doubled my pay.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. I love Elvis. Every story you hear about Elvis is a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Memphis, you hear a lot of them. Like you'll hear things about where he was driving a Cadillac one day, one of his Cadillacs, and there was somebody on the street, and they came up and they said, "Man, I just love you so much." But those cars, man, I always wanted a Cadillac. That's good for you. They're not trying to get anything from him. They're like, good for you, man. We're so proud of you here. And he goes, here, that's yours. And they're like, what? And he literally gave them a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how the taxes work on that. I don't know if they had to figure out, coming up with a gift tax or something. But the fact that and I used to tow cars for a living, believe it or not. You can't tell by looking at me that I used to be a tow truck driver.
I would never guess.
You never would have guessed that.
No.
Stripper, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yes.
I know I've stripped in your mind.
I thought figure skater.
Yes.
Yes.
Now I did do that
I
a little
knew that.
bit. A little bit. I think you were my number one fan back then.
Yeah, I did.
You came to the Olympics, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
2001-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere.
I think there was Olympics then. Anyway, I told this lady she was there for Elvis Week. You know what Elvis Week is? In Memphis.
It's a week of Elvis.
It's a week. It's like the week that he died, or no, it's his birthday week. It's one or the other. And the influx of people that are in Memphis during that time is astronomical. You can't get anywhere. You can't really go as far as on Elvis Presley Boulevard. Mm-hmm. So then I had to tow her car back to Little Rock, and I said, "What are you here for?" She said, "We're here for Elvis Week." And she tells me this story about her and her friend, and she shows me her phone screen. It's an old flip phone. And she had a picture that she took a picture with her flip phone, and it was a picture of her and Elvis standing in front of his hotel room in Peabody or something.
Yeah.
And she says, this is a picture of Elvis. It'll always be my phone screen for the rest of my life till I die. And like he said they do with that bass, she said they'll bury me with this picture. And I said, wow. I said, how'd you get that picture? She said, me and my friend found out because we knew somebody that worked at the hotel where Elvis was staying, what room he was in. And they told us, and we went and camped out, just us two, right there outside of his room, which is very invasive, right?
Yeah.
And but Elvis, she said they were there for hours. And then Elvis opens the door. His security guard comes out, and he's trying to he said, y'all got to leave. Y'all got to leave or the cops are coming. Elvis says, hold on now. And he walks out there, and he goes, how y'all doing? How y'all doing, ladies? And they go, they can't hardly talk. And so then he commences to sitting there, kissing them on the cheek, and takes some pictures with them, talks to them for a minute, and then they go happily away. They don't hang out forever. They were just nice about it, and then they left with a memory that nobody else has. Yeah. But not nobody. Right. But I'm saying not many people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, Elvis was a good guy. Last one, cheeseburgers or pizza?
Oh, my God. That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
That's a hard one. Pizza.
Okay.
Pizza.
That's a really hard pizza.
Yeah.
It is hard, though, when somebody asks you, as an American, when somebody says, what would you rather eat the rest of your life, cheeseburger or pizza? You can't. It's really hard to think about.
Yeah.
It really is. That's why I like asking it.
They make cheeseburger pizza, though.
Now you're talking.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that's a fat boy's mind and a skinny boy's body.
Straight. Oh, yeah. Well,
You
I don't know
so
about
skinny.
anybody.
You so skinny right now.
I don't know about that.
Golly. Okay. What was your first big break, and when did you know that you had achieved something special in your mind? What was that moment, that catalyst where you go, hey, I done something now?
There's little kind of pebbles along the way. But looking back, there's so many of them. Once you get, you're in the eye of a hurricane, so you really don't know what the heck you're accomplishing at the time. I got to sing with the Carter Family on a Johnny Cash record when I was 20, and looking back, I'm like, who can say that? But I think in the moment, the first time I played the Grand Ole Opry, and my dad was there, and my dad, I think, was in tears. He was just so happy because that was his dream to play the Opry, and he never did. And so for me to play it, and so it was just that's when I knew I made it. Playing the
So
Opry.
that was way before. Was that before Trick Pony?
No, that was during Trick Pony.
That was during Trick Pony.
Yeah, and that's when that was like our first single, like 2000, like in 2000, I think.
Is that when Poor Me came out?
Yeah,
Because that was the song that was that the song that launched
yeah,
y'all
that was our
right
first
there?
single. That's what launches.
Is that still the biggest one?
No, we had a number one after that, but everybody knows it from Poor Me. It sold.
Right.
Poor Me was in the charts for 6 months. So I mean, it was a slow climber. So I still made more royalties off of that than probably anything.
It's also a good bar song, so it was
Dang
played
right.
a lot at bars.
It's still, and like karaoke still.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I just did this show at the boat convention in Wisconsin. I was riding down on the chairlift, and
You did a show riding down the chairlift?
no, I did a show later on, but I went up to shoot bows, and then I was coming down, and the band there was playing Pour Me at the time. And so I walked up and said, good job, and they didn't know who I was. They're like, cool.
They're like,
how would you know that song? I said, I wrote it. And I was in that band. They're like, oh, my God.
Did they freak out?
Yeah. No, I
Did they
didn't.
ask you to sing one with them?
No. But I
They
felt
didn't like you that much.
No, not that much. They were already done by the time that chairlift was slow, but I took pictures and all that stuff. They did
That was
a
good
job.
of you to go
Yeah.
by and tell them that.
I'm not Elvis. They weren't camping out in front of my hotel room, but
I was
yeah, I
one
know.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good.
Yeah, I know.
I said, man, hold on. Don't throw them away, man.
And
Don't
you just
throw 'em
come out and you just kissed him on the cheek.
I said, man,
He just kissed him right on the
let me
cheek.
kiss you on your cheek and rub on your little.
And then he just left.
Come on over here to this nudist colony where I'm judging, and I'll show you a few things, little boy.
Take a spoonful of this non-greasy peanut butter for me.
You want some mashed potatoes?
No streaks, I promise.
Yeah. Why?
Streak free. Oh, boy. Hey, so the biggest crowd y'all ever played for, or you personally ever played for, I assume the biggest crowd was with Trick Pony.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
No, it was with Trick Pony. I think it was. It'd have to be a throw up. I think toss between Farm Aid and
You
Jamboree.
played Farm Aid.
and
Wow.
then Jamboree in the Hills. So it was 87,000. It was it's crazy. That many people, that much energy. It was off the
That's
chart.
nuts to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Farm Aid, that's Willie Nelson's gig.
Yeah, it was Farm Aid was Willie, Dave Matthews, Neil Young, John Mellencamp,
Yeah, Sir
Hootie and the
Say
Blowfish, Sheryl Crow, Steve Earle, and us that
Now,
year.
Are you a big fan of rock music?
Oh yeah, big time.
Are you more of a fan of country than rock, or are you more of a fan, or did you grow up listening to rock?
I grew up listening to old country.
Did you?
Yeah, my dad
Hank
was
Senior.
My dad was a huge Merle Haggard fan. I listened to Hank Senior, our barber, his name was Luke Compton, and he was my dad's drinking buddy. He owned the barber shop in the neighborhood. He would come to our house and play Hank Senior songs, and my dad and him would drink whiskey. And so, I was probably 4 years old listening to Hank Senior and learning, all that stuff. And then, but before me and my dad had anything in common, I was probably 4 or 5. I'd ride around in his Cadillac with him. He had a yellow Cadillac and a 8-track player with a Merle Haggard. And I knew all the words to, top to the bottle let me down and all that stuff. And so he used to bring his friends over. Listen to my kid. And it's like a little 4-year-old kid singing Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down.
What was your favorite Merle Haggard song? Even now, what is it?
Even now, there's so many. Like,
Oh, man.
I like the obscure stuff, like Carolyn. I still love that song. Carolyn, let me tell you what I heard about a man today.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, Chris?
Kern River.
Oh yeah, Kern River's a monster.
I'll never swim Kern River again.
What a great melody.
Y'all go deep into the Merle tracks.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Hag fan.
Yeah. My favorite Merle Haggard song is I'll be rolling down a hill like a
that's such a great
snowball
one.
headed for hell.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I used
No
to do that
kind
song.
of, we're not done singing. No kind.
Always on a Mountain When I Fall's a good one. I mean, there's some great Haggard songs.
Oh,
I guess I only know the big ones. Are the good times really over for good? Silver Wings.
hang on, just
Mama
stay
Tried.
here and drink.
I know that one. I think I know all the hits probably.
Yeah.
I never did just get a Merle Haggard album and
Mama Tried. And
Mama Tried. I think that's probably his biggest. You think?
probably Working Man Blues is the
Working Man
biggest.
Blues probably his biggest, I would think. I don't know.
Okie from Muskogee.
Okie from Muskogee. There's so many.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That are hits.
Yeah.
But
What a-
you know, it's hard to find a deep dive track of Merle's. But y'all just found two that I've never heard.
Look, Carolyn's just a monster. I love that
Yeah.
song.
I got to listen to that when I leave here tomorrow.
Do it.
What was it like playing for Tanya Tucker, who was, let me preface this by saying, when I was growing up, I was not a country music fan as a boy. My parents listened to country music, so I hated country music. I was a R&B fan, so I loved Boyz II Men and Al Green, and I still love those people, and Sam Cooke. And then I got into rock, Leonard Skinner, people like that. And then into Charlie Daniels was the only country I would listen to.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Charlie. But what got me into country was two things. There was one artist, it was Tanya Tucker. When I heard her singing on my mama's CD, I was like, who's that? She goes, that's Tanya Tucker. And I was like, now that lady's good, man. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? I was like, now that's nice, man. And so I started listening to her, and then I went to 12 years old, went to a Garth Brooks concert at the Pyramid in Memphis, and I said, now this is something else here. And from that point on, I gave country a shot. Then I went back and listened to Hank Sr. and Jr. and all those other people because of those two people.
Yeah, man.
So Tanya Tucker is one of the reasons why I got into country music, listening to it. And you worked for it. You played for it.
Yeah, I played for a bit. I got fired like 3 times in 2 years or something like that. But I tell you, she's a wild child, and so was I back then. I mean, I was young, so I mean, we were a party band. But I have never heard somebody. I mean, she could be hungover. I've seen her hungover many shows, like with the trash cans in the wings, like in case she had to throw up. And she'd have a cocktail in her hand and a cigarette, and she'd be like, "Oh God, oh Jesus," trying to cut songs out of the set. And they would mention her name, and we'd bust into like San Antonio Stroll. I've never heard a more consistent singer. I've never heard her sing flat. I've never heard her sing sharp. As hungover and wanting to throw up in a trash can as she was, her show is the most consistent show I've ever witnessed with my own eyes. I mean, she is dead on all the time. Pitch wise is amazing, and I love her for it. And I still friends with her, and still friends with her daughter Presley and Bo, her son, and we still talk. And she kind of put my road legs underneath me in a way, because I had never been on the road, in a bus touring constantly until I got the Tanya gig in 94, 95.
How old were you?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
Whatever. You were still a teenager.
No, I wasn't a teenager. I was in
Okay.
my 20s.
Yeah, in your 20s. So
Yeah.
in your 20s, and then
I was probably 24, 25-ish, 24.
how did the shift come? Like, I know you and Greg Burns, is that his name?
Keith Burns.
Keith Burns. Started, y'all had the band idea for Trick Pony before Heidi came along, right?
Yeah, it was actually Keith's idea.
It was his idea.
I met Keith when he was playing for Joe Diffie. I was playing for Tanya Tucker, and we did Jamboree in the Hills. And he came up to me, and I always dressed like I dressed, and he always dressed like he dressed. He was a cowboy, and I did my thing. And he came to me and had this idea of us two finding like a chick singer and doing like a country Fleetwood Mac, but with 3 different looks. And I said, man, it sounds like the Village People. I ain't doing. All we need is an Indian. We'll be whatever. And so I blew him off. And then shortly after that, 1996, playing Arlington, Texas with Tanya, I got fired on the bus ride home, which is probably the best thing that ever happened to me. They fired me, let me go, and I called Keith, and I said, you still got that idea for that band? He goes, yeah, man, are you in? I said, sure. And then I came back to town. We had a girl named Amy Daly. We found her. We actually cut some sides with Amy, went to Arista. Tim Dubois freaked out, signed us for about a day. We met the crew, the staff, and we were geared up to do that. And then Amy came to us and signed a solo deal with Curb. And so she left. And then, so we were just sitting there twiddling our thumbs like, now what? And then Keith Burns' ex-wife had a party, hot tub party, and all the girls' night. And Heidi showed up at it and gave Keith Burns' wife a demo tape. And that's how Keith hired her.
That's pretty crazy that actually happened from somebody giving somebody a demo tape.
Yeah, I mean,
usually don't happen.
No, I mean, you gave me yours, and I didn't listen to it. Yeah, made me feel
I really wasn't going to say that. I was
made me feel like complete shit. He's like, in Memphis, when you did I gave you a demo tape. You probably never listened to it. I said, I didn't, man. I'm sorry.
I was used to people not listening, but I was really meant that when I said it's very peculiar for somebody to give somebody a demo tape.
Kiss my ass, man. This has just raked me over the damn coals.
Hey,
kiss my ass.
Let me clear the story up quickly. I was in Ira Dean was playing Memphis, Tennessee. Did you hear this story?
I think you told me. I forgot it by now. But,
He was playing. You probably did. Ira was playing Memphis, Tennessee.
And he camped outside my hotel room.
Outside his hotel.
I came out there, kissed him, took some pictures.
I showed him my nipples, and it didn't do any good, apparently. Didn't even get him to listen. He didn't even put it in. Wait a minute,
CD.
that sounds weird.
oh, wait a minute.
We're
Hold
talking
on.
about the
Man.
CD. He didn't put the CD in.
Okay.
The CD player.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I stay out there on the grassy knoll right there at the Pepsi Pavilion Ira Dean was playing at.
And Chris's wife was my bass player.
Isn't that crazy how the world is? Camille was the bass player. Mm-hmm. That's nuts, dude.
Yep.
Never, like at the time, I didn't have any fans at all. All I had was an album, a little EP, and a dream. And so I'm going around to different
And I
artists.
crushed his dream. I know. I get it. I get it. I didn't listen to it. I'm sorry.
Did you ever download it after that night when I told you?
No.
Hey, no, it's a bad feeling I get now.
I heard you live. I heard you live, and I applauded.
You did.
Yeah, I think you sing your ass off, man.
I thank you for that.
No, that's no bullshit.
You could have told me that 10 years ago, but you know what I mean?
I mean,
it might have.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is
I could have got you a gig with Tanya, maybe. I don't know.
if you would have got me a meeting with a record label or something, I might have actually signed it. So I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm thankful. That's the truth. Because I don't like. It took me a little while to figure out that ain't what I wanted to do anyway.
Right.
So if people like you would have taken it and said, okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna actually listen to this, and they listened and he actually liked it, you might have went and said, I'm gonna try my best to get a meeting for this guy. He's okay. He's pretty good. So then, if you thought that, I'm not making assumptions here. I see it on your sunglasses while I look at myself. He's like, boy, you being very presumptuous over
No,
here.
I'm just like, I'm going along with this whole movie. So you listen to it, then you go over to Paul Worley, and then you call me in. And I'm wearing a blue shirt and a straw hat, which I don't even know why I'm wearing a straw hat, but it seemed like good.
It was sunny that day and it was getting my eyes, and I got a hat, so it's.
I wore a sombrero, which I knew was a bad move.
It was so bad.
And I walk in, and he says, we want to sign you. We got to lose the sombrero. And I'm like, what? You're going to change me? I leave. That's how it played out.
In scene.
Hey, we just wrote a movie.
And I jumped on my burro, and I rode down 16th Avenue.
Just wrote a movie.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
You just wrote my life had you listened.
See? I don't need to listen. I can look at you and say, he rides a burro.
I'm so glad. That's exactly how I got it today.
Yep, I knew it. I saw it double parked up front.
I got a story I got to tell since I'm bringing up this. I want to tell this anyway. If it bores you, just take your headphones off and leave, and then I'll let you know when it's over.
Okay.
Do either one of y'all like B.B. King?
Yeah.
Love B.B. King.
Yeah.
You love B.B. King? Yeah, I know you do.
Who doesn't like B.B. King?
Well, there's people.
Well, they're wrong.
I was a B.B. King fan. I went to a show in Tupelo, Mississippi, years ago. Like the same time I was doing that with with trying to hand you an album, and then these people, I handed Charlie Daniels an album.
I have a feeling this is just going to blow up in my face.
No, it's not. I'm not doing this to rub it in. I really ain't.
So BB took the album and he listened to it, and he got me a deal at the regular. I wrote in on my borough, and they loved it. And then my life changed, but then I had nightmares of IRA. And
forget IRA Dean.
Yeah.
I'll never talk to that guy again in my life.
Yeah.
And here we are.
No, this is a cool story, though, the B.B.
Have you heard this?
Yeah, you told me it was awesome.
So I'm sitting on the front row of B.B. King at his show. And when B.B. plays, back when he played, he was already in his older years. He was sitting on a chair in the middle of the stage. And the lights, you know how the house lights are all the way out when you play a show. So it's dark. B.B. comes out there, he's playing a little bit, and he goes, raise those house lights up. I want to see my people. And so they raise them up a little bit. He still can't see. He says, just turn them all the way on. So he played the whole show with the lights all the way on so he could see everybody in the crowd. And as he's playing I think it was Thrill Is Gone or something, he goes, and I'm just sitting there, oh, man. Like I'm on the front row just doing this. And he gets into playing it, and he stops. He goes, hold on, everybody, hold on, everybody, hold on. And he looks right at me. He goes, as long as that man right there is having a good time, so am I. Thrill is gone away. And I'm going, was he talking to me? Like, he was just crazy. Everybody's looking at me like I'm family or something. Like, or I'm from a label or something. I have no clue why he did that. The story don't end there, though, right? It gets crazier as it goes along. It sounds like a movie. That's what made me think of it, because it's not false at all. It's all true. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the show, BB wants all of his fans to come down to the front of the stage. So I let everybody else get on the front because I had been on the front row, so I don't want to take the front stage area. So I let everybody get up there, and at the end, he gets finished playing. He takes these guitar picks out of his jacket, and he tries to throw them to the fans. Now, these are light guitar picks, of course. They spread out in front of him because they won't reach because he's in the middle of the stage. These fans are getting up there and grabbing these picks. The security's throwing these people off the stage. And BB's getting mad at the security. He's like, stop, y'all stop doing that to my people, and doing that. He's like, I'm giving them. So then he gets so mad, he pulls off his gold bracelets and his gold chain, and he throws that to the fans, right? Probably inscribed on the inside, BB King, And at that time, I'm thinking, I should have got up there on the front of that stage. I'm like, dadgummit, man, that was stupid of me to think about other people like that. But that's not all. So then I knew the guy who ran the entertainment back there. So then he led us back. I got the ability, the blessing to be able to go back and meet BB. So we're being led backstage with just a flashlight. It was pitch black dark, and all you can see is what's in front of you. And as we're going down this real narrow aisle with a flashlight, there's a row of security guards just standing there, like this. And then as I'm walking by, somehow this hand comes out between these security guards and grabs my hand and pulls me towards these security guards. And I'm doing this, and they're like, you got to move on. I said, somebody got a hold of my hand, dude, like this. They split, and it's B.B. King sitting in a wheelchair right there, and he pulls me up to him. He goes, I want you to know that I had a good time with you tonight. And I go, shit, well, and that's kind of how it was, because I couldn't really speak. I was shocked. Like, why is this happening to me? You know what I mean? Like, why? I still don't know. why. Yeah. It's a God moment, right? Mm-hmm. It don't make sense to me why I had no fans, nobody supporting me, nothing. And here's B.B. King, an actual king of blues, pulling me to talk to me. 100 people went by him, and he was waiting on me to pull me there. And he pulls me up to him, and I got his album, which hangs on my wall to this day. I got an old B.B. King album. He looks at it, he goes, now look at there, like that. And he said, who is that? I said, that's you, man. That's all you. He goes, I sure was pretty then. I said, you still pretty to me, like that. And he was mad at the security guards, and he said, hold this flashlight, because they were being mean to me. He didn't like that. And he said, hold this flashlight. And he said, go get me a Sharpie. Like, he was very, very short with them because he loved his fans dearly. And so they went and got a Sharpie, and he signed it. And he said, I'll see you in a minute, like that. And I go, thank you, man. I have my guitar with me. I just got this Martin acoustic guitar. And so I waited in this line of probably at least 50 people. Yeah. And as they're going into the room where BB's at, I'm watching the manager turn away people with guitars that aren't Gibson. And my guy that I knew, he said, he said they're turning people away that don't have Gibson because he's under contract that he can only sign Gibson guitars. He said, but take it out of the case, take it in there anyway. BB seems to like you like that. And I go, okay. So I'm holding my guitar out. And I'm thinking, whether I get this signed or not, it's going to be amazing. It's already been amazing, right?
Right.
And so as when I walk in, he just lights up again. He goes, there's my friend. And he says, come on. And he says, what you got? Now, I hand him the guitar, and he looks up at the head of it, and he sees that it's not a Martin. He looks back up at me, and he goes, I'm going to sign it anyway. And he signs B.B. King on my Martin guitar, which I still have to this day. And he gives somebody the Sharpie, and he goes, because we're about to take a picture, and we did. But as we're doing that, I'm trying to get my album, my EP out, the one that you hated. And as I'm pulling that out, he goes, he's trying to get the picture taken. I said, I wanted to give you this, Mr. King. He looks at it, he goes, well, ain't that song? He said, who got that Sharpie? Like that. And I go, no, that's for you. I want you to have that. He goes, I know who it's for. He said, who has that Sharpie? And they bring the Sharpie back over. He goes, I want you to sign this to Mr. B.B. King.
That's bad of the bone.
I signed my first EP ever to B.B. King, and he took it graciously.
Isn't that cool?
He held it.
Cool
Man,
story.
I really thought I couldn't feel any more like shit till that story.
Oh, it ain't done.
Then BB showed up at my doorstep.
Oh, hey, just real quick. Tell him what happened when you gave your CD to Charlie Daniels.
Yeah. Charlie, I went to see Charlie the same way, and I gave Charlie my album. Now, Charlie didn't make a big fuss like BB. Like, he didn't act like, hey, this guy right here, we're kindred somehow. But Charlie said, nice beard. I said, I love you so much, and we took a picture, and I handed him my album. Now, I didn't know, I figured it was just another IRA moment, Nothing going to happen with it. I gotta stop. He's going to
Man,
start
you can
crying.
edit this out. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Just mess with me.
I drove an hour and 4 minutes this son of a bitch. I'm going to go home and just feel like shit.
I hope you don't.
No, that's okay.
Please, I take my apology. Anyway, Charlie Daniels was amazing. He actually listened to the album. I don't even know if BB listened. I don't know. I like to think that BB had that on his bus, though, just living there, just riding with him. You know what I mean? That's cool to think about. He might have thrown it away. But I know for a fact that Charlie listened because Charlie tweeted me. I had nobody, and Charlie tweeted me and said, listen to your music. It rocks. And I still got that tweet today. I just kept that. But those moments are what kept me going, because I was giving up every time. I was like, I'm done. This ain't going to work. My dad was right. I need to get a factory job or do whatever, I promise you that I'm not mad at you, and I think it's funny.
So, Chris, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good.
Thanks for inviting me on your podcast.
Anytime, brother, man.
Nah.
I'm going to mute my mic.
Man, on the way here, I was listening to Everybody Talks to God. I listen to your stuff all the time.
I do too.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, man. I should have listened to it.
I promise you I don't care at all.
Yeah, okay. I
really don't.
Good.
And then tell him what happened when... No.
Yeah.
Tell him about Prince.
Prince, yeah.
You remember Michael Jackson? Tell him about what happened when you got...
Yeah.
Remember how that Elvis came back to life and she listened to it?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, I'm not upset about that. I think it's funny. I think it's very funny that I'm sitting here talking to you, though. To me, that's comical that I'm here talking to Ira Dane, one of the people, right? And I never spoke to B.B. King again in my life. I never spoke to Charlie Daniels, even though I had his number. I never spoke to him again in my life.
Right.
But here I am.
See, I show up.
And I'm honored.
Yeah, I come back into your life. BB King,
I'm so
nothing.
thankful.
Charlie Daniels just tweeted. I show back up.
See?
I drive an hour and 4 minutes.
In person.
I needed you here now.
Damn right, I'm here.
All right, now back to the interview.
Okay.
You know what? Let's do
Now that you're done river dancing in my ass, I'm just.
You don't want that. You do not want me river
That's what I
dancing.
feel like. I just feel like I got river danced in my ass.
I really hope. Do you know how that feels?
After that, yeah, I sure
You
did.
were a partier.
Yeah.
Like, you really were a partier. River dance. That kind of died off, didn't it?
Yeah, it just never got traction, did it?
It just really.
I like how every river dance ends. Just a bunch of panning with a smile. Just that.
That's so true.
They're just smiling and sweating their asses off.
And they're like,
This guy, y'all should be observational comedians. Comedy.
I said.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about Riverdance.
I'm a chicken hawk and you're a chicken. I said, son.
Yeah. We do a little segment called What Not to Eat. And this is going to be a good one with Ira because I believe he's eating some nasty stuff in his life. Let's do this real quick, Chris. You ready? You might have eaten a few things in your lifetime. I know Chris and Marty sure have. But these are things they would never eat. This is What Not to Eat.
oh, yeah.
Wow.
Now, what is yours? I'm going to let you go first this time.
Okay. Now, listen. Just listen.
Is this going to be one? Should we play some?
Are we going into a Barry White song?
Now, listen. If you're in Alaska, you can have a little thing called jellied moose nose. This is after all the cooking is done, and you just need something special. White meat or dark meat? The list could go on. But interestingly, drawn from perspective of someone well outside American diet and non-American list of most disgusting delicacies. I'm just reading this. It don't even make
This
any
man
sense.
put a whole Wikipedia
I know.
page.
I did this whole thing.
And you're delivering
and it
so
don't
well.
even make sense.
Up in Alaska,
Yeah, it all
Florence
fell apart.
Henderson cooks moose knuckle.
It's not.
Like what?
You know what?
Moose knuckle.
You know what? I totally.
Light meat or dark meat. The moose knuckle's a delicacy.
You know
Chris, what's it called? You didn't even tell us what it was called.
Camel
It's called
toe.
jellied moose nose.
Jellied moose knuckle nose.
Jelly moose nose.
Did we get a picture of that for Ben or no? Ben, we didn't get a picture, did we?
No, because I was going to do the other one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what we had up there.
Yeah, but I didn't do it, and I messed it up. So.
I know, but you delivered it well in Anchorage,
Why don't
Alaska.
you do the one you
And
were
then I
going to
s-
do?
Well, I started talking. I was like, this doesn't even make sense. Why did I even put this down?
I know, but you sold it so well.
I'm really good at this.
Do the one we actually have a picture for right above that.
What is it?
The century egg.
Century egg?
It's a century egg. It's an egg that, century and stuff.
Yeah, it's just
The
sits for-
egg, it's also known as a 100-year egg, and they're covered in clay, ash, and salt for
There it is.
months.
Yeah.
And the yolk is dark green and stinks of sulfur.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. That right there is the moose. That's the moose nose.
No
That
way.
That is. No, that's the moose nose.
That's a moose knuckle right there.
Oh.
That's a moose nose. Jellied moose nose.
I'd eat it.
Ben, we're so sorry. Could you put the century? There it is.
Oh, nice. Ooh, look at that.
Damn. That looks like ass cancer.
I don't-
And every time I
Wow.
see something like that, I'm like, have you ever
Is that-
tried fried chicken?
Is that blood around the garnish? Is that garnish
It's just
with blood?
nastiness. It's just nastiness.
That looks like what's left of Lance Armstrong right there. That's
Woo, man.
Uniball.
Why would you want to eat that, man? Well, do
I don't know.
That's a hard boiled. That's a hard boiled though. Looks like it's hard boiled.
Yeah, I would think.
Maybe soft boiled.
I mean, eating it raw would be disgusting.
You're right. Yeah, I couldn't eat that unless it was boiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, mine's what's called Shiraku, one of those. Doesn't sound too bad from the name, right?
Right.
But it's actually just a fancy name for an animal's reproductive organs. It's essentially a cod's sperm sac. That's a sperm sac, yeah. Creamy to the taste, as you can imagine.
I'm sure.
You can have it deep fried or steamed. I think I'll go with deep fried. I'd have to go deep fried with
Nothing says Thanksgiving like steamed cod sack.
that. Yeah, steamed cod sperm.
I like how they just kind of made it fancy with a little bit of shallots on top. Just a little.
That dude.
The Salt Bay. What's his name? Salt Bay, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. Don't lie. You know his name. It looks like they've also garnished it with some kind of caviar or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Ira's eating that.
I haven't. No.
What's the craziest thing you've eaten in your life, all your travels?
I don't know, man. I've eaten pretty much everything.
Most exotic thing,
I don't
though,
know.
that nobody else would ever want to eat.
I don't know.
Have you ever eaten like blood from other countries and stuff like that? You
No,
know,
I've never eaten blood from other countries or nothing.
just this country?
No, not this country. I'm an avid hunter, so I'll eat. I don't want nothing to go to waste, so I eat everything.
You eat it all.
Yeah.
Do you? My buddy Jim, he said he used to hunt, and when he hunted, he would kill the deer, and he would actually eat some of the meat raw, right? Just rip it right off. Have you ever done that?
I have not done that. I have a friend of mine who'd take a bite of a heart though, as soon as it's fresh killed. But I've grilled heart. I've tasted deer balls, all that, and I'm not a big fan. As long as it's got a good name, like I couldn't eat a kumquat just because of the name. I think, But
What is a kumquat?
I don't know what it is, but I ain't gonna
Is it
eat
squash?
it. I don't
Some
know.
sort of fruit.
Or head.
Is it a fruit?
Or
think
head
so, yeah.
cheese. I can't eat head cheese. That just
I don't
sounds
think
nasty.
is that a real type of cheese? Head cheese?
Head cheese
Yeah,
is made
it's
of
actually brains.
yeah,
right?
it's all the parts of a cow.
I actually ate head cheese in New Orleans
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've
with
eaten.
some rabbit dumplings.
I just eat the normal stuff. I mean, if I shot it, I eat everything.
My grandfather used to eat brains and what's this?
That's a kumquat. I
Oh,
bet.
that's the kumquat.
yeah.
I'd eat that if they
It
just
is
call
a fruit.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah,
just. They
I
should
thought it
just.
was a fruit, yeah.
They should just call it an orange, and I'd eat it.
Or tangerine maybe is a good name.
I'd eat that.
An orangerine is what
Yeah.
it looks like. Yeah, I'd try that.
Yeah, I'd do that.
That looks easy.
Yeah.
Can we get some kumquats in here, Ben?
Can
We're all
get-
going to try a couple of kumquats.
I try
Maybe
anything
poached.
once.
My grandfather used to eat every morning brains and eggs. My grandmother would make him brains and eggs. I don't know what brains, but some animals' brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had calf brains or not,
Yeah, I don't.
but I've eaten the internal organs.
You think that's what people eat? Calf brain?
calf brain? Yeah.
That's probably what he ate.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard.
That's nasty.
That's hard for me.
I won't eat a ball either, like a deer nut.
What about a mountain oyster?
I've eaten mountain oysters. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like.
What do
the
they taste
texture.
like?
I can't describe it, but
Is
the
it like a-
texture's rubbery.
Ooh, like you would think it would
Yeah.
be.
I mean,
Why do people want to eat that?
I don't know.
He's got the coolest shaker. He's got a shaker made out of.
Of a deer sack.
Deer
I put 2 egg shakers
It's
in it.
awesome.
I shot this buck, and my buddy Eric took the deer sack, and he put 2 shaker eggs in it, and then took the dinker skin and ran it up a drumstick. and
This segment's brought to you by Vegetarians of America.
Yeah. Pete is gonna hate me, but I got a deer sack shaker. It sounds great. If you want to track with balls, I'll come in and play that thing.
You know what this needs? You know what this track needs?
Balls.
We'll need some balls. Call IRA.
Yep. I come in with a flight case, take it out,
Okay, thank you. How much would that be?
double scale.
Yeah. Let me sign that card real quick.
Yep.
Are you still writing songs?
Yeah. Still writing songs. Still.
Who are you writing for today?
Today, I'm not writing for nobody. Yesterday, me and Chris were with Eddie Montgomery writing a song for him.
Yep.
Oh yeah, a song.
We got a couple on there already, and we keep writing with them. But we just wrote one song yesterday.
Yeah.
And
I still write.
when's that album coming out?
Man, he called me today and said they are scheduling a tracking session in less than 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're gonna cut 3 more, and I think they'll be. I don't know when it's gonna come out. They'll be done in a couple months on it. Now that COVID's over, we can actually record some stuff.
Is there still money to be made in songwriting?
No, God, yeah. Oh yeah,
You still getting checks?
yeah.
How big?
Enough to where I don't have to wear a hairnet yet.
You know, I was at y'all's show, the songwriter show at the Nash House that Chris Wallins does.
You were the
Shameless
only.
plug.
You were the only one.
Yeah, me and my buddy.
Yeah.
It was a packed out. It was an intimate thing. It's very intimate. You know what's funny is I had my buddy there.
That's a good word for it. Intimate.
Yeah, it's a nice way to say we were the only ones there.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
Yeah.
after the show, he gave me a CD, and I left it.
Yeah. he actually stomped it that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my buddy was there, and I said, "Hey, man, Chris Wallin, he's got this song about a one-eyed woman. It's so funny, man. He'll play it for you. Watch. Chris comes over. I'm like, "Hey, man, I told him about that one-eyed song." He's like, "Yeah, that's a good one." And I was like, "You play it?" He goes, "Doesn't play it. He doesn't play it." So I'm sitting there going like I couldn't remember how the music actually went. So I was like, "This is it right here. This is it." I was like, "No, that ain't it. That ain't the one." I thought, "No, this is the one I was talking about. Right? This is funny. That ain't it either." Then he's like, "We got one more we're gonna do, and then we're gonna be out of here." And I'm like, "Huh."
One-eyed woman?
Yeah.
Nope.
I guess he got payback for me messing with Ira about him not listening to my. See, this one goes out to Marty Ray. Thank you for coming out, buddy. Satan knew my grandma well. He loves it. I'm like, but this is a good one, Alfred, too. Maybe he just.
It's not as funny as the other one, but it's good.
It's not as funny as
Near
the
as
other one.
funny, yeah.
So, out of all the songs that you've written, minus the ones you've written with Chris, what's your favorite one?
My favorite one? Oh, my God. I think, I don't know if it's my favorite one. It's my favorite moment. I've never, like, when I was writing with Eddie Montgomery and Phil Billy, Eddie was going through a divorce at the time, a bad one, and it was getting ugly. And we wrote, his wife pretty much made a list of everything she wanted the divorce, and it was pretty much everything he owned. And the kids weren't even on the list, which it's just kind of self-centered in a way.
That's sleazy.
And so we started writing this song, and he was telling us the story. We're writing a tempo, and he's telling us the story. And so we started writing this song called "I'll Keep the Kids." And it wasn't a big chart success. It died like at 20 or something like that. But we wrote this song called "I'll Keep the Kids," and it was 100% factual. I mean, and it got so emotional that we had to stop writing, and Phil Billy prayed. And it's the only time I've written where we stopped writing and had a prayer because it was so emotional and so heavy. And I thought he wouldn't cut it just because I don't know if he could have sang it and got through it. And but it's still one of my favorites I've ever been a part of. Just to be in the room and that
raw emotion.
Yeah, that realness. Yeah. You know, you write a lot of stuff. You write a lot of 3-minute movies that are just fabricated and that sound good on radio. And then every once in a while, one of those songs come out of the blue that are just heavy and real, and you're living in the moment, and you're just trying to put it down on paper and not screw up the story, you know? And I think that was the hardest song we wrote and the most emotional I've ever been part of. And I'm just really proud of it. I don't care if radio hated it or not, and it was just too real. But I'm proud of Eddie for cutting it. I'm proud of T-Roy for backing him on it. So
You played that the night you were there with Chris. I heard that. That's a very good song.
Yeah.
Very, very good song.
Thank you, man.
What's the name of it?
I'll Keep the Kids.
I'll Keep the Kids. Yeah. Very, very good song. Me and my buddy both said that. And it makes sense that a good song wouldn't get played on the radio.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I hate radio. And I'm glad it's dying. Oh, sorry, Chris. Now, last question, and unless Chris has something, I feel like I've asked all the questions. You got anything? I mean, y'all know each other personally. Y'all sleep in the same bed, so I didn't know if you.
Have we ever slept in the same bed?
He said that Nudist colony.
No.
I slept on the floor in Nudist colony with my ass against the wall.
Who was it? It wasn't Gary Allen. It was I think it was Ed. We were out riding with Eddie. Remember
that casino?
They got a hotel room and only had one bed, and we put all the stuff in between us.
We put the pillows. Said, "Don't you cross that pillow.
Don't cross that line."
Oh, we took like candies.
Candy in the middle, and we made a line. He's like, "Don't cross this line." If I wake up and
with
this piece and this Jolly Rancher is moved,
if I've got a Skittle on my belly button when I wake up, we're gonna
yeah.
If I got any tracks on my belly button, I ain't gonna be no mashed potato, okay? This ain't that kind of trip, Chris.
Yeah.
We're strictly here writing songs.
Yeah. Just songs.
That's fun.
Yeah.
The candy thing is strange that y'all thought that was gonna let y'all know. Y'all really put candy up.
Oh,
we just whatever we could find, we just put down
like maybe a lighter.
And I woke up at 3 a.m, and Chris was like this.
I was just eating the candy.
These gummy bears are sure nice.
Good morning, Ira.
Were you having a nightmare?
Got a Twizzler. He's spinning it. Notice all the candy's gone, but this.
You looked hot.
Yeah, let me cool you off. I was like, now what? Well, that kind of does feel nice. Right?
What's wrong with you? A little closer.
Let me get 10 more minutes. He's like, okay, hon. I mean, Ira. At the end of every show, you got anything? Anything you want to say that we didn't talk about?
No, I'm out on the Aaron Lewis tour. I'm opening for him, so you can come out and check me out.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
That gum.
We start back up the 21st Wabash, Indiana, 22nd here in Tennessee. And then the next weekend I'm taking off. I'm going to go gator hunting down in the Everglades. So
You tell Aaron, I said, what's up? He knows me well. We met one time, and he was high out of his mind. He definitely doesn't remember me. But tell him I said hi.
Oh, he's got a mind like a steel. Hey, man, what's up?
Yeah.
Did you give him a CD or anything?
I didn't give Aaron a CD. Something about it just told me that it wasn't going to do any good. Yeah. Well, by the time I met Aaron,
he might have rolled a joint off of it. Man, I tell you what, you get them seeds out of this thing on this guy's beard.
it's getting out. I got to contact this guy. This ink really adds whatever ink he's using. By that time, I was already done with the labels and everything. I had already figured out that handing music to artists wasn't going to do anything. I was just there. I was in Biloxi when I met Aaron Lewis and was there for free doing something, and there was a show that they said, you want to go see a concert? And I was like, well, that depends on who's playing. They said Aaron Lewis. I said, Aaron Lewis is playing? I said, of course I want to go see that. And then he played. When I met him, I said I asked him to play one of my favorite songs, and he played it. Can you believe that? Aaron Lewis played a song I asked him to play.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
That's
awesome.
really crazy.
He's a good friend.
Because I'll even ask him to play something, he'll say no.
Really?
Yeah. I've had 3 or 4 cuts with him, and he doesn't do any of the songs I helped him write on the show because I'm open. I was like, you could at least feed my ego and play one of the tunes we wrote together. He goes, nah.
That's crazy. I feel really special now, actually. I really do.
He'll do one every once in a while, and I'll be like, yeah.
Have you heard the one that goes, if I could walk on water like Jesus did before?
Yep.
You ever heard that?
Yep.
Man, that's a good one. That's the one I asked him to play, and he played it. I was shocked. I didn't think he would. We end every show with a unbelievable fact. You ready for it?
Yes. Unbelievable fact.
Unbelievable fact. Here we go.
Okay.
You might think it's not true, but I assure you that it is. It's hard to believe it's an unbelievable fact.
The founder of Match.com, Gary Kremen, actually lost his girlfriend to a fella she met on Match.com. The guy's name was Ira. It's weird, man.
It is
odd.
It's a weird coincidence.
I know. It is crazy.
It's so weird.
Here's a weird fact for you. Henry Ford, who invented the automobile, never bought a gallon of gas in his life.
Why was that?
He ran all his cars on hemp. True story.
Is that true?
That is very true.
Where did he get the hemp
I have no
oil?
idea.
And why are other cars not being? Why did he?
I have no idea. I just read that and read this whole thing about him not running his automobiles on gas and never bought a gallon of gas in his life.
Why?
I don't know. It didn't get that far.
Why?
I don't know.
Ira, thank you so much for
No
being
problem.
here.
Hey, no
It
problem.
was a joy. It really was.
Kiss my ass.
I love you to death.
I love you too, man.
All right, let's do the outro. Let's do it with Ira here. You want to, Chris?
Let's do it.
Let's just do things with Ira here. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know the moose knuckle, a delicacy.
Here we go. Ready?
God, I suck.
Thank y'all so much for listening to the Marty Ray Project Chats. And a big thank you to Rode for supplying the sound with Rodecaster Pro. Whether you like what you heard or hated what you heard, subscribe and rate us anyway. Let us have it.
Thank you so much, Ira Dean, for being a part of the
Man,
show.
thanks
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the invite. Seriously, guys.
We got to
Had a
have
good
you
time.
back. Maybe you co-host with us.
I'll do it.
Heck yeah.
I'm like a pizza. Call. I'll show up.
You deliver?
Yeah.
You do deliver.
Yeah, you know
Because
what?
you delivered today, buddy.
Hey,
Yes,
buddy.
you
Can
did.
I have a CD now? And sign it to BB King.
I wish I had that CD back. God bless Ira Dean,
Yes, sir.
even in all his faults.